Welcome back. This Dvar Torah is for my grandmother, whose yahrzeit is today, Lifsha Dvora Bas Avraham Eber. So the Gemara in Yud Gimel Amud Beis in Megillah talks about that Rachel was a very big tznuah. She was very modest, and because of her modesty, she was zocha. She merited having King Shaul, come from her, as well as Queen Esther, the great Esther of the Megillah. So Gemara asks, what was the tznius? And mind you, it's not the tznius that we think of, although I'm sure she had that, which is dressing modestly. It was tznius as far as we are, as far as not giving over secrets, about being aware of your surroundings and just understanding you can't divulge things. So I have a big question on this. So what happened? She didn't want her sister to get embarrassed. She held off on the simonim, which were the actual codes that were given over by Yakkov, which were the mitzvah of Nida, Chala, and Hadlakas Ner, lighting Shabbos candles. Those are the three codes. And she held back telling them to Leah until the last minute when she found out she was going to be switched. She didn't want her to get embarrassed. So my question is, you don't want someone getting embarrassed, but what about Yaakov's feelings? You can't throw him under the bus. Also, later on in the morning, Yaakov discovered Leah anyway, so you didn't really accomplish much. And another thing is, when a person's intimate with his wife, the Shulchan Aruch tells us that you're not allowed to have thoughts about another woman. So how could she mislead Yaakov? So we know that you can't be from someone else's cheshbon. We know this from Avraham Avinu. When Avraham Avinu fought the kings and got back Lot and returned him to Sodom, the king wanted to give him everything. And he said, I don't want anything but my men, they can have. And Chafetz Chaim says, from there you learn you can't be from on someone else's cheshbon. So how could she be from on Yaakov's cheshbon? So I saw an interesting das that came in Balatoises on that whole back and forth between Leah in the morning and Yaakov. They got into an argument, and what was that argument about? That argument basically was that Yaakov was upset. Why didn't Leah tell him what was going on? The whole night before, all the people at the wedding party were saying lie, 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 lie. They were mocking him. How could she not tell him? And she says, I learned it from you. You were deceptive. You took the brachas from Esav. You fooled Yitzchak by getting dressed as Esav. So I learned it from you. So I'm looking at this very strange Das Akanim, and I'm wondering, what is this? These are the avos. These are the most. They're not having a fight like a 15-year-old teenager would have. So let's try to understand. What was Yaakov doing by switching, by pretending to be Esav? He was preventing Esav from getting the brachas and the klalos that Avraham Avinu bequeathed to Yitzchak. It says in Parshas Lech Lecha, whoever curses you is cursed, and whoever benches you, whoever blesses you, is blessed. That means that Avraham Avinu had the power, the massive power, the koyach, to curse and to bless. That's like the most powerful weapon possible. If Esav, who was the worst person in history, would get a hold of those brachas, the world would be destroyed. So even though Yaakov stood for emes, complete unadulterated emes, Rivka, his mother, said, in order for the greater good to save society, to save Klal Yisrael, to save the world, you need to take the brachas away from Esav, because giving him the brachas would be like giving Kim Jong-un the nuclear launch codes to every single nuclear weapon in the world. It will be destroyed. The world will be destroyed. Similarly over here, Rachel knew that Leah cried a lot and her eyes were very weak. Why was she crying a lot? She wasn't depressed, Stam. She wasn't like having a bad hair day. She was upset because she was afraid of the prospect of marrying Esav, the Russia. That would harm her soul, and who knows, it may even cause her to kill herself because she doesn't want to be married to that monster. So in order to save her life, she resorted to what she did. Just like Yaakov resorted to lying to Yitzchak and pretending to be Esav. What about the other question? What did she accomplish? She got embarrassed anyway. Better to be embarrassed in front of a Yaakov Avinu who has Rachmanis than to be embarrassed in front of the entire wedding parties. In order to mitigate, in order to prevent a larger embarrassment, she felt justified in deferring it to Yaakov. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful Chag Sameach.